It's pros and cons times, baby. Hello everyone, how are we all feeling after the game last night against Crystal Palace? Last night, it was yesterday evening, wasn't it? Against Crystal Palace, we lost 1-0. 4 out of 7 games that we've lost now in the league. Simply not good enough for Manchester United, for the players involved, for Erik ten Hag, for everyone who's just involved with the club in general. It's been a bad start, a really, really bad start on and off the pitch for Manchester United. There wasn't a lot of goals in the game, but it's certainly a lot of talking points. And as you know, with pros and cons, we always start off with the negatives and try and end with the positives, but there's only a couple of positives. Let's dive into the negatives together. Marcus Rashford needs to be dropped. After being dropped midweek against Palace in the Cup, you thought, right, now's time for a little bit of a reaction from you and Bruno Fernandez. I'm going to talk about Bruno Fernandez shortly, but just sticking with Marcus Rashford. Yesterday, he shoots when he needs to pass. He passes when he needs to shoot. He takes on a man when he needs to square it or cut back. Like, he seems very erratic, especially in that first half, and he just has you kind of pulling your hair out. I can only imagine what Rasmus Højlund feels like in that situation, because he's constantly in a position where you can play it to him and he just doesn't choose that option. I don't know if this is a case of, because of last season, he carried the mantle with the 30 goals in all comps and was our main guy go-to. So he was like, right, I need to do this myself. I need to get in behind there. I need to do this. And now it's kind of like, we need to kind of open your eyes a little bit, use your peripheral vision if you've got any, and square it to your man behind, or give it to the Mason Mount, or give it to, Pellistri at the back post. We don't seem to do that at all. Now, the fact that Sofyan Amrabat was playing at left back probably didn't help, because he didn't have that overlapping run or underlapping kind of assistance. So when he did get to the byline, or when he did, get to like the 18-yard box, he's got 3 players in front of him. He's got to try beat all of them on his own. So that I kind of understand a little bit, but I just thought, but I thought for me, what was really telling in that second half is that Erik ten Hag actually brought him off with 15 minutes to go when you need a goal. I think that tells you everything you need to know about Marcus Rashford's performance. And I think for the Galatasaray game, Alejandro Garnacho needs to come in. I think Sofyan Amrabat needs to move into midfield. Out of the 11 players that was on the pitch, Amrabat was probably apart from Dalot, but obviously Dalot can't move over there because there's no right back. But apart from that, everybody else, I think Amrabat probably would have done the best job at that spot, which is why ten Hag chose him there again, because against Palace in the Cup, he was okay. However, in the Premier League game yesterday, he did get turned a couple of times. There was a few situations where he's trying to claw the ball back with his hand, and seemed a little bit out of sorts. And that's not saying he's a bad player. He just doesn't play there. I mean, I don't know how many times he's played there in a career, but I can't imagine it's more than 5 times. You know what I mean? So, yes, he can do certain bits there, but he needs to move into the midfield. We need that balance. I think as long as when you bring Casemiro and Amrabat in that midfield, maybe even Mason Mount as well, push Bruno out onto the right-hand side, I think you'll see a much better balance there when you have a natural left-back, hopefully a Luke Shaw, or even Serge Reguilon, because when he came in, he looked really, really good. So, Amrabat definitely needs to move into midfield. Team chemistry, non-existent. I thought yesterday we was lacking patterns of play. I mentioned the attackers with Højlund hardly getting any service at all. Amrabat's only just come in. We've got new signings everywhere. We've got replacements and, kind of plasters on big wounds. Like, it's scattered all over the place. It's kind of like our transfer policy, to be honest. It's just, it feels broken in that team, doesn't it? It doesn't feel together. It feels like just 11 players on the pitch, try score. That's the plan. We need cohesion and chemistry, and you can only get that through training together. And these players have hardly had any time on the pitch whatsoever at all. So I thought that was evident yesterday. I thought it was really, really evident. We had no kind of interchangeable moments. City sometimes when they're playing like a low block, you'll see him working triangles on the edge of the box. You'll see him getting a man in behind. There was only one situation I can remember yesterday where Bruno Fernandez played in Pellistri and he just missed it with his feet, but that would have been a great chance if he had got it to his feet. Apart from that, we didn't see much of that. When City are doing it, they'll work it, they'll overload certain areas. They know how to pull a defence apart. We don't know how to do that. And I'm not saying that's just specifically coaching. I just think that the players simply need more time together. Pellistri, Højlund and Rashford have never played together or played together once, I think. So we definitely need more time with that. It's not an excuse. But yeah, we need some time on a training pitch, and ten Hag needs to get these exercises drilled into the players. Bruno Fernandez, now he wasn't awful by any stretch of the imagination in yesterday's game, but he wasn't amazing again, or he wasn't a decent level. I look at players like listen, if you think about the top 3 players, even Kevin De Bruyne said it himself, in the league, in that position, you would probably say De Bruyne, Bruno, Ødegaard, right? Now, if you're going to put yourself amongst that competition and in the conversation, you need to be doing similar things to what they're doing. Kevin De Bruyne, if you look at his performance against Bayern Munich, Arsenal in the league last season, Real Madrid, big games, Bruno Fernandez doesn't do it. Yesterday wasn't even a big game. It was, with all due respect, it was against Crystal Palace. And he's not turning up. He's having average performances. And when you wear that captain's armband, you know, we've had Roy Keane do it consistently, be the best player on the pitch for years. Eric Cantona as well. Many others before and after them who have done the business. And Bruno, just for me, at the start of the season at the moment, I've seen one decent performance, and that was against Nottingham Forest. And we've had 7 league games now. So that tells you everything you need to know. I want more from my captain. This kind of falls into the team chemistry thing, but we lack an identity on the pitch. Erik ten Hag said in pre-season he wants us to be one of the best transitional teams in Europe. And you can see we have the players for that style. We do have the players for that style. Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandez, Marcus Rashford, Højlund, all these guys have them kind of assets to them. They can do that. But again, it comes back to the players playing with each other. You talk about Liverpool's successful team when they won the Champions League and the Premier League. You could name their starting 11 week in, week out. Salah, Firmino, Mane on the wing. Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho. Robertson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Alisson. You knew it every single week. Obviously, there'd be the odd change here and there. But these players are playing with each other all the time. We have no consistency through the team. I hate going back to that because I mentioned it before, but with so many players out, we've got Martinez out, who helps us significantly playing out from the back. We're having to play Lindelof there, who's, you know, has his own issues. Amrabat isn't in the midfield. Antony isn't on the right-hand side. Mount probably needs a consistent run of games as well. So I think it's going to be a long time, actually, before we see what Ten Hag wants on the pitch to his standard. I really, really do. Last season, we had a similar thing where we tried playing out from the back. De Gea couldn't do it. So then we had to switch it up, started going long, and then we started winning games again. So will he be tactical flexible again? Will he switch things up? I don't know. But it's slightly worrying with no identity on the pitch at the minute. Right, I'm going to try in with the positives. There's not many, like I said, but I'm going to try because I don't want this to be just a gloom and doom video. Mason Mount, I thought, was decent. Had a decent 45 minutes. I've seen Saeed on Twitter, people who know who he is in like the United community, saying on Twitter that he don't get Mount, he's shit, he doesn't get what he does, and blah, blah, blah. And I was just looking at his first half metrics before. 89% pass accuracy, 37 touches, 25 out of 28 passes completed, 10 out of 11 final third passes, 5 out of 5 ground duels, 3 out of 3 tackles, 3 ball recoveries, 2 out of 2 long balls completed, and 1 key pass. Now, even before Mason Mount signed, he became this kind of scapegoat figure. People just wanted to drill him for whatever reason. I couldn't understand it. Maybe it was to do with the Chelsea season or whatever happened there, but there was context to that because everybody had a bad season in that year. When he first came into the side, people were very quick to judge, saying, nah, don't see it, don't see why it's working, why is Ten Hag brought him in, Chelsea flop, and blah, blah, blah. And I think it's very risky to be so critical so soon. I mean, let the player, at least give him 6 months to kind of imprint his style on the squad. And I think the Palace game in the Cup and the game yesterday, I think he showed what he was all about. He's great at pressing. He's good on the half turn. He does things quickly. He doesn't mess about as soon as he gets in possession. And he's got a range of ability as well. He's comfortable all across the pitch, which I really, really like. He could be on the right side, he could be on the left wing, he could be as an 8, he could be as a 10. He is comfortable in most positions. And I think once we get fluid with our starting 11, which I keep mentioning, he will be an important cog. And only the second positive, but the last positive, Alejandro Garnacho and Anthony Martial looked good when they came off the bench. I thought Martial came on and I think players like playing with Martial, because they get that kind of connection and service. I think Bruno has it with Martial, Rashford has it as well. But other players around him, he comes on and he likes to drop and link with players. And they're like, right there, oh, this is a triangle. This is how we move it, overload certain areas. And he was disrupting that pattern in defence that had been so used to what they had in front of him. When he came on, he actually did a really, really good job. Garnacho equally as well, running at his man, putting balls into the box, fearless, correct decision making, and looked really, really lively. I think the game on Tuesday night, I think it is, or Wednesday, I'm not sure, Galatasaray in the Champions League, them two need to start. How you bring them both into the squad, I'm not entirely sure, because they're both, you either drop Højlund, put Martial there and Garnacho on the left, or maybe put Martial on the left, Højlund up top, Antony on the right, and then bring Garnacho on as a sub. Maybe that's more kind of thing here. Whether Martial can play 90 minutes or not, you just don't know, do you? But I just thought them two, in any capacity, I don't know how you're going to do it, they need to get quite a few minutes against Galatasaray, and Marcus Rashford needs to be dropped. I said that at the very start of the video, because them two are impressing at the moment. And if you're not going to have favourites, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did, and like many other managers have as well, then you need to start doing it based on performance. You talk about you will play, his plays earn their performance. Well, let's see what happens on Tuesday. I think the preview is going to be interesting for that, so make sure you tune in for that. So the conclusion then, after 2 wins against Burnley and Palace in the Cup, it looked like, you're kind of clinging on to cobwebs there, aren't you? But it looked like we was trying to kickstart our season a little bit, get that winning momentum. We've got a nice run of games now, and it's like, United have other plans. Basically, the players are just like, fuck that, we're just going to fuck up again, like we always do. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Manchester United at the moment, and if it stands like this now, if we keep performing like this, we're going to be at the end of a battering again, in the way at the Etihad or at Liverpool, and it's going to be a very, very long season. At this moment in time, the way we're performing, we won't even get top 5. The fact it's an extra Champions League position now, and we probably won't even get it, is pretty embarrassing considering the season we had last season. A lot of people, when you set the benchmark at finishing 3rd and winning a Carabao Cup, and then you spend £150 million, you expect to go to that next level, but it just simply hasn't worked out for us at the moment. People are going to blame the manager, but if you know Manchester United, you know what the real situation is. The wheel needs breaking. It's the ownership, the board, and everything above. It's worrying times for United at the moment, but hopefully after the Galatasaray game, if we win, we could be speaking about positives together rather than this negative bullshit. But let me know your pros and cons in the comment section. Leave a like in the video for us and subscribe to Real Reds Talk.